Well, here I am. Okay. Now, here's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about not giving up. Now, we all want our dreams to come true, you know. And my dream is having a grandparent tell me that they're proud of me. I mean, yes, Grandma Minnie showed me how proud of me she was. And she was the best grandma and granddaddy all rolled up into one. And the proudest. And gorgeous white hair. And she was an Eagles fan too. She wore green on Sunday. So I try to find adoptive grandparents like that who, really don't care. You know, they know that I'm still growing. They still know I'm learning. And now I'm finally maturing. Grandparents who don't care how long it takes. You know, I'm finally gonna get that reward because I did not give up. You can't pay me to give up on any dream like that. No matter how long it takes you. Yeah. Don't ever give up. We all get off track, but don't give up when you miss it. Find, another way to your goal. I thank God for the people He's given in my life that leading me closer to my goal. And these adoptive grandparents tell me, grandson, I'm proud of you. It's taking it so hard that Grandma Carol's not here. I mean, not Carol Grosso, Carol Toffel. I also have a Carol Grosso. I keep forgetting that. Both of my adoptive Grandma Carols, they're both brunettes. They're both brunettes. Their hair is naturally brown. Sometimes it's a little. That's only to cover up that little bit of gray they have. Carol Tufel had. She died early this year, like February. It's crazy shit. But Grandma Carol and both Grandma Carols, Carol Tufel and Carol Grosso, the most beautiful brunettes. But, I look for the white hair, I don't know why. It just seems like the average, but God puts brunettes in there, like Diana Baxter. And then you have, the adoptive grandma's white hair. And some of them, they color theirs, like Grandma Rainey. Okay, I've talked about making my goal, and I already made it, according to those ladies. Um, Now, let's talk about, people, in the entertainment industry that, actually, have made their goals, because they didn't give up. One, I want to talk about the Wayans brothers. The Wayans brothers, it was the first show ever to appear on the WB. It was on 8 o'clock, and then the Parenthood 8:30, where it later became Wayans Brothers at 8, Jamie Foxx at 8:30, where the Parenthood got replaced by Jamie Foxx and moved to a different night. But yeah, the Parenthood got replaced by the Jamie Foxx show. Just like Steve Harvey and Cedric, they definitely replaced the Wayans brothers. And I'm pretty sure the Steve Harvey show was probably presented to NBC before given to the WB, like the Wayans brothers. But it was originally under Brother to Brother, still in association with Warner Brothers Television. It was probably going to be on Monday after Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But the NBC simply just didn't want another Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And, what they feared about John Witherspoon was the perfect pops on the Wayans brothers. And when it came down to it, he would be really caring. And this was what NBC was afraid of. They didn't want another Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's what I believe. The Wayans brothers was dropped by NBC because they didn't want another Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then, of course, ABC, they were given to ABC. Well, they weren't really given to ABC, but after NBC dropped them, after ordering that pilot, NBC originally ordered the Wayans brothers, but after they didn't want John Witherspoon, so apparently they went to ABC as well, try to land a TGIF spot because it was Warner Brothers, so they tried to land that TGIF spot. But ABC rejected them too, like NBC did. They rejected the Wayans brothers. But then the WB executives called them for their new network, and they wanted the Wayans brothers. After NBC and ABC both rejected them. But see what happens when you don't give up? Same thing with Simon Cowell. Back in April of either 2000 or 2001, Simon Cowell was in LA pitching to UPN executives, which he had no idea this network existed. UPN, everybody knows this story, about Simon Cowell, pitched UPN and, their interests, UPN executives really weren't having it, and they told him, we'll get back with you. And the whole crew, everybody with Simon knew good and well, everybody knew damn well, pitching this product, that UPN told them no. They knew damn well about that. And he didn't give up after, how messed up it was, So after UPN, they called MTV. They called the WB. They called They called Fox. They called CBS. And ABC actually said, Andrea Wong, casting of ABC, said, call me when you have a demo. So that's why we didn't get American Idol until, their first season back home in the UK, across the pond. So that's what happened to American Idol. ABC was their last stop, and ABC said, come back when you have something. He didn't concede defeat. He actually, he was Simon and his crew, you know, they they went home. They didn't sulk. They went home. They went across the pond and did Pop Idol, because that's what they call it back across the pond. Um, that was back in April of either 2000 or 2001, where Simon Cowell was trying to where that terrible meeting at UPN in either April of 2000 or 2001. And then ABC rejected it ultimately, you know. And this time, Simon Cowell, he didn't even think about UPN. He didn't think about MTV. He didn't think about the WB. He didn't think about anybody. He didn't go anywhere but to the big four: Fox, NBC, CBS, and ABC. So with that, yeah. Um, Unfortunately, ABC definitely rejected. Everybody rejected again. But here's what happened. Rupert's daughter was a big fan of the show Pop Idol. And what happened? Daddy listened. And it ended up on Fox. And people still watch. It's still, UPN, got a couple hits after that. It did hurt UPN, especially the executives, saying that could have been us this summer. However, they didn't sulk. They pushed on. They got some more hits. The WB, on the other hand, they they fell down after that, because remember, American Idol was also pitched to the WB, and they were kicking themselves so bad that that was their downfall. Well, really, dropping all them black sitcoms, that was the downfall. Quite frankly, we miss you, the WB. But speaking of UPN and the WB, here's another one. Well, first of all, Built to Last. It was on NBC. Lasted only 3 episodes. I feel like those two, Built to Last and Jenny, they were both on NBC. And I read somewhere where they both were about to be sold in a package deal from NBC to UPN. Built to Last is owned by Warner Brothers, and Jenny is owned by Paramount. So Jenny going to UPN only made sense. So Built to Last almost went to UPN as well. after being dropped by NBC. It was part of that deal. Just switch from NBC to UPN, like in the house, and minor adjustments. And Judge Joe Brown. They just switched from NBC to UPN. Speaking of UPN, okay, like I keep saying, one-on-one, Flex Alexander did not give up. Yes, he created a show, one-on-one, about a single dad and whatnot, And in 1999, Flex Alexander originally pitched the show first to ABC. That's where he first went. And he co-created the show with the help of the late, rest her soul, Unetta T. Boone. She worked on The Parenthood. She did Living Single. She did Fresh Prince. She did uncredited The Wayans Brothers. Yeah, rest her soul. Rest Unetta Boone's soul. Rest easy. Okay. So, Unetta and her friends at Warner Brothers. Okay. She did the Hughleys first, before she's coming fresh off the Hughleys. She probably uncreditedly did the Drew Carey show in between that. She produced some episodes of My Wife and Kids. So, yeah. But she has friends at Warner Brothers. So, with the help of Unetta T. Boone, Flex also, after ABC completely rejected one-on-one, Flex went to the WB, of course, because this was a teen sitcom. But, the WB's deal with sitcoms, it just wasn't teen enough. It was more adult oriented than being a single parent, but Brianna was becoming the young lady. It just wasn't teen enough. And that's, kind of the tip off why the WB also rejected one-on-one like ABC did. And then Flex and Unetta leaned on Fox. And Fox, they just completely just declined one-on-one too, just like ABC and the WB did. But, a UPN executive, thanks to the producers of the Hughleys working on one-on-one, reached out to Flex and said, "This is UPN, we'll pick up one-on-one for you." And that's how it ended up on UPN. So, yeah, don't give up. That's all I gotta say. Don't give up, you guys. You may get a lot of no's, but that's gonna be okay. Those no's are gonna make you strong. They'll have you reaching in the fight. Keep going, no matter what they say. Stay strong. You can do it. You can make it. You can reach your goals. Talk to you later. Go Birds.